5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 4 of KT vs STX. KT bringing out none other than Flash in the 4th set here to destroy this pathetic Terran player Laz, who's been sent out. Pathetic, of course, in comparison to Flash. He's actually not that bad in TVD. He's 50-50. Which is, you know, okay, but okay doesn't cut it against Flash, even with his hand injury, and it does appear that Flash is the brown Terran, rather, at the 11 o'clock position, and this player, Last, is the purple Terran at the 7 o'clock position. Again, Flash brown, Last purple. Last indeed is going to finish last in this game. I do not know why he gave himself such a moniker. Then Flash there drinking his water. Earlier he was fiddling with his ruler, doing all his usual things. Here's hoping his hand injury has not diminished his capacities too much. I still think Flash playing at 50% would still demolish Last with ease. Perhaps Flash one hand tied behind his back could still beat Last. I don't know. Such is the handicap that Last is going to need in order to beat Flash. So, my only thought is that Last has spent every single waking hour for probably the last month practicing against specifically anti-Flash builds on this map. That is the only chance that I feel Last could win in this game. Flash is nigh invincible in TVT. Not quite though. He has lost to, for instance, I believe, Reality in the Pro Leagues a little bit ago. Last putting down a bit of a forward racks there. Flash opting to scout cross map. And this has, of course, the happy luck of checking a bit for proxies. Flash checking the middle there. And Flash somehow scouting in the correct direction. This is what people get upset about. I mean, this is map hack game sense. I do not know how he done this. It's gotta be luck. I mean, there was a 1/3 chance. But when Flash does this, people cry foul. And even I am almost tempted to say this seems like some sort of map hack. Flash, just absolutely incredible here. I mean, it was luck. So Flash getting lucky here, putting down his own barracks just beneath his ram. Flash going to use his SCV to harass this forward barracks, going to be quite an annoyance actually, forcing 2 SCVs all the way off the mineral lines. This is actually more significant than it appears. And Flash going to pick off his SCV, the SCV building before his own SCV goes down. A worthy trade, certainly, because you know, again, with 2 SCVs being pulled off the line, that's actually going to delay whatever strategy Last was planning. Last mining gas now, he is going for at least a 1 factory build, possibly a 2 factory build. Flash is putting down his expansion, 1 factory coming down, and the SCV is mining gas. Only 1 SCV is mining gas, rather. Flash going to finish his barracks, it looks like, in time, with a marine out to deal with any sort of marines that Last can send. So, Flash taking an early advantage with luck, really. Luck this time breaking his way. Sometimes it is better to be lucky than good. Although for Flash, you know, he is always good. So a combination of luck and skill cannot be stopped. That is my prediction for this game. Flash crushes his opponent in with great fanfare, in great style. Perhaps even taking his hand off the keyboard in the last minute when he's about to win, and just, you know, letting Last try to come back and then crushing him. That's what I want to see. Of course, that's not going to happen. This is the Pro League playoffs, so, and Flash is a very serious player. I've never actually seen him do anything BM, ever. And Flash, you know, plays the game, takes the game very, very seriously. Good for him. BM is not necessarily bad. It depends on what you do. If the player is staying for no real good reason and it is clear that they could not possibly win the game, infesting a command center, building command center in their natural, you know, I applaud of that. But if it was a hard-won game, I don't think that should be the case. You know, a hard-fought game where the victor barely eked out the victory at the end, that's just insulting, and, you know, and that's bad manners. Certainly, that's what BM stands for. Of course, that would truly be bad manner. Anyway, the barracks able to spot a bit here for Last. Last has put down second factory after he's put down his command center. Last is going to be behind economically. Truly, Flash has every advantage in this game now. Last, I don't know whether he's going to be able to unveil a secret weapon of some sort, deal with Flash. or whether this is just a sacrificial lamb sent out here, and perhaps Last does not understand the concept of the sacrificial lamb, much like Apu in The Simpsons. And if I could obtain for you this animal, sir. Anyway, perhaps that is what's going on here. Last does not realize he's sort of sent out just to really, because there's no better option. STX convinced that anyone sent out against Flash would lose, and sending out this guy, and STX hoping that they can win enough games with their other players that Flash is not going to be able to matter. Unfortunately for STX, KT has already taken 2 games. Assuming Flash wins this game, they will be up 3 games, which will force STX to win every single remaining game in the series, including Ace Match, to win the series, and things are not looking good, because if it gets to an Ace, I suspect they will probably send out Flash again despite his injury. After all, this opponent Last has been, thus far, not even trying anything. He's put down the odd minor to... It's not like he's playing badly at the moment. And who knows, he may yet pull out something that I am not prepared for. Flash playing down 3 factories. It looks like he's also got a starport producing Wraiths. 1 Wraith or 2, very, very useful. Flash capable of using that Wraith to maximum advantage. Is going to tip his hand a bit, using this Wraith to spot the Vulture, perhaps a spot where the mines are, and pick them off. Armory coming out here for Last. So Flash is going to use his Vulture, his Wraith to pick away at this SCV trying to repair the barracks. And Marine, though, going to be able to deal with the Wraith. It looks like Flash is going to try to kill the Wraith, even microing the Wraith a bit against the Marine. Ooh, that Marine hiding under the barracks, trying its best to stay alive, but Flash's Wraith having no problems against a solitary Marine, and it can pick off the Vultures or deal damage to the barracks. Nothing that Last can do just yet. He has finished his armory, and he's getting an academy, so he will have Goliaths out. I don't think he's going to be able to get Goliaths out to deal with this Wraith before the Wraith can burn down the barracks. So that's something, at least. Flash going to delay any additional factories. Flash getting caught a bit out of position here. These Vultures catching Flash's tanks, and they're going to be able to lay mines all over the place. At least Flash has done some damage with the tanks before the tanks went down there. And the mine game driving all the Vultures. Last he was trying to do something real clever. He had an opportunity there to defeat Flash, but... And Flash sometimes not with the best tactical sense. That was the golden opportunity Last needed to come back in this game. Flash now with 3 machine shops building tanks all over the place, it seems. Last, but not moving the Vultures away, letting Flash's tanks get off the blows they needed. As an absolute disaster for Last. Now he's lost what few offensive units he has. He's putting down 2 more factories before his barracks burn down. Good for him. And Flash really, luck, again, breaking his way, although in this case, luck in terms of the fact that his opponent is as unworthy as I had predicted. And sorry to those of you who may be Last fans, I apologize, but Last clearly not demonstrating the best play in this game. Certainly to beat Flash, he's going to have to vastly exceed what capability he's shown thus far. Flash using up 3 tanks with his barracks to spot for him in the middle. He's also got the Wraith again, sort of hidden a bit in the north, perhaps to intercept any potential drops that take a sort of a longer route over circuitous route. Well, circuitous, that's not a word. There's a word though. Well, fortuitous, obviously a word. Well, I'll think of the word sooner or later. Anyway, 3 tanks here coming out here for Flash. In addition to the 3 more he has, he's got 6 tanks using barracks and the Wraith to spot, destroying nearly all the tanks of Last. Surely Last is the sacrificial lamb in this case. He's forced to pull back what few forces he has. Perhaps going to cower behind the bridge or up on this high ground. He will be able to hold out, I feel, against Flash, even though Flash has superior numbers. Terran able to defend quite comfortably. Flash with 8 tanks, it looks like, outnumbering Last 4-1 in tank count. Okay, 2-1. Last will need to take advantage of the terrain in order to hold this off. Flash just content to blockade Last into his base. Flash maneuvering part of his forces around, going to catch some of these Vultures that are trying to move out of the base of Last, and these Vultures are going to take heavy damage here. Flash, as you can see, Flash microing his Vultures and attacking, whereas Last either not microing or just eager to get out. Hard to tell. This is the difference between Flash and Last. Is like pro versus amateur hour here. Battle that attack. Last is the unfortunate victim here. And Flash not even playing at 100% capability, perhaps. Although who knows? Perhaps his hand actually has healed somewhat, or perhaps he really wants to try hard here and risk further injury to himself. Flash shutting down an attempt by Last to escape his base. Last has really cut down his little quarter of the map there. Flash a massive position of warfare. And Last, if he cannot achieve some sort of breakout or achieve some sort of counterattack, is going to lose the game. Flash also putting down his third base here. Flash, this is sort of exactly how you would play TVT. Flash is writing the textbook here. He is demonstrating for us with a prime example and staggering his tanks very nicely there. Nice siege line, closing off the escape from the north and the escape to the east. The only chance Last has is perhaps getting dropships, concentrating all his forces in a breakout attempt, because Flash's army is separated. If he can concentrate all his forces at one point, he should be able to break through. That is his only chance, and he's going to have to do it in conjunction with dropships, because he'll take too many losses if he attacks just through. And hopefully Flash, well, let's see what he wants to do. If he's defending, hopefully he'll rely more on a maneuver strategy. He'll keep part of his forces in reserve. Elastic defense, as is known, when Last decides to attack a point, he can quickly send mobile forces over there to reinforce, and that will stop any sort of breakout attempt, which is what the Germans were fond of doing after, I think, 1934. Well, by then it was a little too late. Tried their great last offensive in that year, but after there's some generals were very good, like Model. He was a master of that sort of defense. But the rest of the, well, regardless, I should comment a bit more on this game. Last is attempting a breakout here at the south. Not quite able to achieve the breakout because Flash has got tank siege up on the high ground. Last without air support, not going to be able to achieve anything. I guess Flash just wants to get another base here. Perhaps he hopes that on 4 bases he's going to be able to build up a sufficient economy, especially dropships, to be able to break out. Flash also critically does not have turrets. Last has put down 2 starports, it looks like. Raves could also work. I still think dropships are the better option, but Raves are also fine. They also allow him to of course, pick away at tanks if Flash does not have other turrets or gliders to support. And Flash really tightening the noose here. He has not opted to send SCVs to build turrets. Perhaps he's not that comfortable, confident in his defense, as, again, he should not be overly confident here. I think Last, if he concentrates his forces, will be able to break through. And that is hopefully what he is going to do here, so he puts up some sort of fight against Flash. Anyway, Flash, though, surely aware of this. I think two starports building dropships, so Last is apparently heeding good advice here. Flash building a few Rays. Flash, of course, with the Rays will be able to shut down dropships if he employs them well and manages to catch Last's forces out of position. Rays are a good choice. Yes, dropships coming out here from Last. He is actually trying to hide them a bit. So, good move. With dropships, Last is going to have some options here. He could try to break out, or he could attack and actually do some damage to Flash. Flash has got all sorts of turrets here, though. He's really fortifying his position at the 9 o'clock. He's also got a patrolling Wraith there. So, unless there are something like 6 dropships, I'm not sure any sort of attack at the 9 o'clock would be successful. 4 dropships out. Perhaps Last would be wise to try some sort of breakout. Flash, though, does have an army in the middle there. It looks like he is patrolling that around. That is his reserve force that he's going to send where Last tries to break out. So Flash appears to be employing the elastic defense doctrine. Good for him. And both players really playing high-level soccer. It's not like Last has any other option but to try some sort of breakout or counterattack. He cannot stay in his quarter of the map because he's going to run out of resources very quickly. Flash now with 4 bases, Last with 4 too. This is his chance. He needs to break out probably within the next 2 minutes or so, or this minute, I should say. He's got 6 dropships out. That is a good number. Flash with so many units in the middle of the map. And here's hoping that Flash does not siege up his tanks and keeps part of his force in reserve to stop this breakout attempt. Because it could be disastrous if he doesn't do this. Because then Last would have free reign, perhaps to attack 9 o'clock, and Flash, the tables could easily be turned. But I have faith in Flash's strategic ability. He has kept a lot of forces in reserve there, it seems. Good for him. That is exactly what he needs to do. Last, again, needs to break out sooner rather than later. because Flash will be free to expand to pretty much every other base on the map if this game goes on too long. Flash has a few Wraiths. Perhaps he should not have tipped his hand on this Wraith force. Or perhaps that's exactly what he wants to do by showing the Wraiths. Last seems to be cowering inside the middle of his base with his dropships, it appears. A bit of a breakout attempt here by Last, not really accomplishing too much. It's not a breakout attempt, it's just a small skirmish there. I think Flash was just sending a few vultures over, and Last is going to counterattack. Also, an effective maneuver. He's got a Valkyrie here. This could be this is going to be a decisive battle here. Flash does not appear to notice this. He's going to maneuver all his Wraiths here. It might be too late. The Valkyrie goes down, but there are a lot of Goliaths in that group, and it's going to force Flash to lift. So, Flash, though, may choose to use his reserve force to counterattack, but he is going to try to save his base. I'm not sure whether that is actually a wise move. There are a lot of units out for Last, and this is exactly what Last needed to do. Acquitting himself well here. Good for him. Flash, though, still has the advantage. He's got another base up. He can easily transfer the SCVs over there. He didn't lose too many SCVs, and he can put down more expansions as long as he can hold his contain. Again, Last's forces are sort of trapped in that little pocket there. They can't really move out unless Last unsieges and move all his dropships over there to pick them up. Not quite sure that's what Last is doing. I think Flash with a huge army of Wraiths here. In fact, knowing Flash, who is a daring player, he may send his dropships, not dropships, his Wraiths in to snipe all the dropships of Last. That would shut down any sort of offensive capabilities of Last. Flash can just comfortably build bases and win that way. These forces, for instance, would be trapped. Flash, though, if he tries to attack this force of Goliath tanks with Wraiths, he is going to incur far more losses than he wants. I don't think that is the wise move here. He needs to finish off the dropships. That is going to be the key to this game here. Whether Last can pull off another brilliant drop, or whether Flash can catch the dropships in transit and destroy them. Or even if the dropships manage to unload their cargo, if Flash can still catch them, I think it'll be fine. That girl seems a big concern there. Perhaps a worried Flash fan. That's my opinion. Anyway, that or someone famous. Unfortunately, I do not recognize the Korean celebrities. Okay, Last is going to concentrate his forces for a massive breakout attempt here in the east. Flash has his reserve force, though, in the north. He is sending it south to deal with this, and Flash hopefully is going to be able to plug this gap. But no, Last has broken out. No, Flash with so many units in the north. This is exactly what I mean. Elastic defense here, and now with the Wraith coming in to clean up all the dropships. Flash, brilliant maneuver by Flash. Great game. Both players exhibiting high levels of strategy, I have to say, but Flash clearly the superior in this case. Last trying his hardest, but he had to be the sacrificial lamb here. Going on to the next set.